love taking a break from Solarballs. Percy, they added Guillermo on the new arc. God fucking Hello, me compadres, it's me, Guillermo, and I'm not dead! I was just hibernating, grieving the loss of my son. But now that he's back, let's jump into this crazy theory. Taco Bell! So, if you guys have been following my theories for a while now, you might know that my first theory was on Guillermo being alive. If you somehow don't know, let me summarize it right here. Guillermo can move on his own. We see this while he's peeking behind Neptune in Why is Neptune Missing? He moves on his own yet again in Jupiter is Missing. I saw this as him trying to run away from Jupiter when Jupiter confessed that he was the man behind the slaughter, but yeah, you saw it, he moves on his own. Second, Guillermo can talk, or is at least foreshadowed to be alive. In What If Planets Were Ordered by Size Part 2, he speaks for the first and only time for now. His only lines were,
"He's not, compadre. How are you talking?"
As you can see, Jupiter didn't pay for his therapy session earlier, and Guillermo is mocking him. Guillermo is not a therapist. He's something else. And no, this isn't Jupiter hallucinating Guillermo as X. We know X is British. So, what is Guillermo? Well, I'll get to that later. Neptune is also the only character that proves this talking business further, since he also says, "Don't be shy now, Guillermo," which might be evidence that these two were talking before Uranus and Saturn came into play. For now, the conclusion is that Guillermo is alive, and Neptune knows this. Guillermo is currently trying to go under the radar and stay low, and he isn't on anyone's side. Now, let's get to the other theory I made about this topic in general.
Saying, oh, okay, I have no words. Okay, got it. You're stupid.
In this theory video, I stated that Phobos and Deimos were the only characters who could hide their faces. As for the dark side, sadly the writers don't care about him as much as we do. Sorry. I linked this camouflage ability into Phobos and Deimos being asteroids and assumed that all asteroids could do the same if they were alive. And this actually lines up with the previous Guillermo theory. The camouflage thing makes even more sense when you consider that Jupiter basically eats and ejects these guys on a daily basis. They witnessed an entire genocide of their kind in their prison, so basically, asteroids fear planets. Adding this up to our previous conclusion about Guillermo gives us this result. Guillermo fears planets just like other asteroids. Neptune found out about this somehow and gave him a new camouflage, thus befriending Guillermo. Guillermo tried to stay under the radar after Saturn and Uranus came in, and has been trying to do that ever since. The only reason that Guillermo went about his way to mock Jupiter is that he's not evil, but he's a victim of Jupiter's constant torment. Great, so now that I summarized two of these previous theories, we can get on to the main point. Now, let's get to the... Oh my god! I actually haven't been watching Solarballs for a year now, so feel free to roast me alive in the comments if some of these things are wrong. If your brain isn't absolutely fried by the people on TikTok simping over Wise, you might remember that we're currently in a life and death situation because the sun doesn't know how to parent. Oh, and we also have a cult full of rogue planets, and they want to destroy the solar system, I guess. Their plan probably involves manipulating X so that the rogue planets can take over the solar system and prove that they are indeed powerful to the stars in the Milky Way, starting an entire revolution. We also get to meet ejected planets from the Grand Tack. This is obviously very important, and trust me, I will get to this later. We have already stated how Guillermo is alive and fears planets like other asteroids, so now that he's dragged up in this whole cult mess, I'm sure he won't stand by this attack on his home, on his friends that are victims just like him. This is also a critical moment to prove his own worth to the solar system, stopping a massive threat on his own while everyone thought of him and the others as a pile of rock. Now, would you believe me if I told you that Guillermo possibly could be a rogue planet? Well, sorta. His hatred and fear towards Jupiter could be from Guillermo himself being ejected and crashing onto an asteroid, thus ruining his life. But this is a far stretch. I will only assume the reason that he acted that way with Jupiter last time is because he witnessed X's ejection and the murder of his countless asteroid friends in the asteroid belt. But if he somehow used to be a protoplanet in the solar system, it will only make this more impactful.
Well, actually, according to what Proto said, it should be right.
So, putting all this together, here is how the arc might play out. After X is manipulated into the cult, Simp will gather a mass meeting to discuss their ultimate plan. While the plan is being discussed, Guillermo listens to all of it carefully. Shortly after the meeting, X ends up meeting his fans again. Guillermo uses this chance to sneak his way back into the solar system. Back in the solar system, the sun is pissed, assuming from the community post, gathers all the planets to force them into the same orbit. Of course, just like the last time the sun tried to arrange their orbits, things don't go well. The planets are furious at the sun, and an argument starts. Meanwhile, X is unsure and gets overwhelmed a little bit. He gets the idea to show Guillermo to his fans, but he cannot find him. He goes around frantically asking if they have seen the asteroid. One of the rogues stand up and point out that they have seen the asteroid moving on its own and is currently on their way back to the solar system. Not wanting to get exposed, Simp sends away the fastest planets that they have, along with X, since he's the one that knows the way best, in a mission to capture Guillermo and take him out for good. The argument in the solar system escalates as the planets are just about to lose hope on the sun and probably abandon him. The sun senses something off in the solar system's gravity, as they see Guillermo approaching frantically to warn them about the truth. With Guillermo's reveal, some other asteroids like Ida and Vesta come out of hiding, and when X and the others finally manage to get back, it was already too late. The truth was already out in the open. But hey, that's just a theory, a Guillermo theory! Honestly, this is how much this tiny asteroid can affect the whole plot, and that's why Guillermo and the asteroids matter so much. Guillermo will definitely play a huge role. If not in the Rogue Planet arc, he will in the future. So, what do you think? Let me know in the comments, and sayonara until next time. Their plan probably involves going to talk